when the bombs have dropped and the dust has cleared. There's no need to fret, no need to fear. Get your body moving, don't you quit in.
What's up, Wastelanders? Here we are back again with episode 6. Today we are going to go a little bit harder than usual. I feel like at this point, if you have made it this far and you're on episode 6, congratulations for showing up for yourself. So today we're going to focus more on calisthenics. We are going to work on more body weight exercises and just really up our strength. You can only go so far with calisthenics. I do encourage you, if you're starting to make this a habit, hobby, whatever, grab some weights, find something out in the waist that can, maybe up to 12 pounds, because the only way after you get really strong with your body weight exercises is, grabbing weights, and that's how you can really build up your strength. So as a warm-up, we are really going to focus on just getting the blood flowing. We're going to do jumping jacks, we'll do high knees, we'll do some arm circles and body weight squats, do prisoner squats if you prefer, and we're going to try some plank walkouts today. So basically we're going to go from standing to a plank, and we start with jumping jacks. All right, ready? Let's begin. 1 minute. Let's go. Remember, we're just here to get our muscles warm. 1 minute. If you don't remember how to do jumping jacks, I think we can review the first or second video. And remember, if you need to modify, you can do a step out. Just do it, with some fervor, right? So like that. We'll get a little warning once we get close. I really feel like it's really zoomed in. Just getting our muscles warm. You showed up, did half the job, half the work, showing up. Okay, so next we've got knee highs. Ready? Let's begin. We're going to do 1 minute. If you need to put your hands here, you can do that. If you need to pause, you need to take a break, go for it. We're at 30 seconds. If you need to modify, you can do this. Just make sure you're doing your knees high as you can. You may not have this available to you, and that's okay. But here's the modified version, and you can just do marching in place too. But knee highs are best, right? It's really gonna get the blood flowing. Just a few more seconds left. All right, we're gonna rest for 30 seconds. You can pause here if you want to, but we're gonna rest 30 seconds, and we'll move on to the next one, which is gonna be prisoner squats. All right, prisoner squats. You're gonna hold your hands behind your head, and just like a regular squat, but we're keeping our chest up, right? You can go sumo. I like to do a slower eccentric, but that's just because of my habit of squatting this way. If you really want to get the blood flowing, you'll want to do a little bit faster. And you can also do with your feet hip width apart. For prisoner squats though, I like to do my toes turned out a little bit more, and more of a sumo squat kind of stance. Helps keep my chest up, and we're still serving the purpose of creating blood flow. We've got about 7 seconds left here. And remember, warm muscles, less likely to tear, less likely to injure. And we're gonna do basically these, we're gonna start here, if this is available to you. Then we're gonna walk out into a plank, and we're gonna do a push-up. You can do that push-up on your knees, and walk up. Don't worry, we're not at burpees yet. We may never be. I'm gonna do a plank. Let's do 10 of these. Up, back down, walk out into the plank, push up. I think that was 4. Up. This is maybe 5. All right, we're halfway there, so 5 more. If you want to do a couple push-ups here, you can. I think that was 6. And I'm doing 2 push-ups because I just kind of feel like it. I think that was 7. I don't know, I can't count. If you've been following along, I think you know that by now. I think that's 8. Up. I'm doing a little bit of a squeeze at the top with my glutes. 9. 1 more. And if you want to do a few push-ups here, you can. All right. That's 10. The camera battery died earlier, and I think we were doing, what were we doing? I think we were moving on to our workout. We were doing push-up shoulder taps. So we're gonna go back to it. So we're gonna do 10 of these. So we're gonna do a push-up, we're gonna lead with our chest. And we're gonna do a shoulder tap. Another one, other side. Okay, so let's go 10 like that. That was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Make this last one count. All right. Then we are going to move on to essentially a weighted squat, okay? So grab your weights, whatever form of weights you choose, and we're gonna do like feet shoulder width apart or whatever is comfortable for your mobility, and we're gonna come down. I'm gonna try to get a little further so you can see more, and we're gonna do 15 of these. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and keep those abs held in, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You did it. Okay. And this one we're gonna do the Manta Mans. Okay. So we're gonna start. We're gonna brace our core, and then we're gonna kind of almost push your upper abs into the floor. Okay. And we're gonna contract our back muscles as well. Your goal is to try to get your thighs off the ground. If you can't do this, you can leave your thighs down and then just do a stretch overhead, right? I'm gonna do my, like my wings are flapping, right? So we're gonna do 10 of these. And just hold as much as you can. 3, 4, and we're just gonna take a small pause when we get to the top. 5, and really stretch. 6, really stretch, pause at the top. 7, 8, 9, and one more, 10. Hold there and then relax. All right. The next one we're going to do is pike push-ups. So the next one we're going to do is a pike push-up, which I haven't really done before. I mean, I've done it, but not as a practice. So today we are going to do it. Essentially, it's a body weight exercise for your shoulders, there's triceps and upper chest, and it's kind of the stepping stone to do a handstand, okay, like a handstand push-up. So we're going to begin in like a downward facing dog position. If you've ever done yoga, you know this one. Essentially, your body is going to form this inverted V shape. Your hands will be wider, slightly wider than shoulder width apart. Your feet will be like hip width apart. On the descent, you're going to bend your elbows and lower your head toward the ground, keeping your neck neutral. You're going to aim to touch the top of your head lightly to the floor or as low as you can go with control. You're going to keep your elbows flared slightly outward, but not excessively, about a 45-degree angle. And you're going to push through your hands and straighten your arms to return to the starting position. So we're gonna learn together. So start with the downward dog. We're gonna do our hands slightly more than hip width apart, and your downward dog might look differently than mine. I'm actually gonna pull this up because it's not really sticky enough for a downward dog. Okay, we've got kind of the hips wider than shoulder, or the feet wider than hip width apart. And then we're gonna lean. I think we are supposed to lean, kind of lean forward, something like that. And we're learning together. I'm keeping my, let's see, I think it's like this. Is that right? I'm gonna have to review my footage. Let's go for 10. That's 2, 3, 4.
So I want to point out that my form is slightly wrong here, and you're welcome to explore other broadcasts to get the right form.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I actually don't know if that looked right, but again, we're learning together. I've never done a pike push-up before, and I actually think it's close to right. If it's not, I am going to review the footage later and we'll see if I did it right. Hopefully you're able to also find other holotapes or broadcasts that demonstrate a little bit better if you have more questions, because we are learning together. I appreciate you being here. So this next one we're gonna do actually a new move again tonight, or today, whatever time of day you're watching this. We're going to do mountain climbers, which is another one that's going to work our core and give us a little bit of cardio, but it's kind of full body movement. So we're going to get into a plank. Okay, we're going to start in the plank position. You want to keep that line straight, and what you want to do is you're kind of just like you're climbing a mountain. So we're going to be doing this movement, and we're going to do 30 to 45 seconds of work. All right, let's begin. Ready? 3, 2, 1, let's begin. So we're gonna do 30 to 45 seconds of work. And just imagine you're escaping a death claw. You're climbing up a mountain. We've got about 20 seconds to go. Oh no. That was about 30 seconds. Let's do some lunges. These are great glute builders. Okay. So we're going to lean forward into that front leg, and we're going to come up. Okay. It's almost like a single leg squat. That's 2. And let's do 10 on each side. So I want you to really feel and engage and think about your glute muscles back here. I want you to think about the quads here. I don't remember which one this is, 5 maybe? So we're really thinking about putting the weight in here. We're thinking about the back leg as more of a stabilizer. And remember, you're not putting your legs straight back. It's like a train track. So a little bit apart. God, I have no idea how many I'm doing. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? Same thing on the other leg. Remember, we're putting, it's more like a train track. So sort of staggered. We're just using this back leg to hold us, right? And the front leg is what we're going to put our weight in. So let's go 10. 1, 2. All the while we're thinking about our glutes. We're thinking about our quads. And it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, now we're going to do it all over again. So go ahead and rest for a few seconds. And before we start our next round, I just want to say thank you for showing up. I mean, you're showing up for yourself, so you should thank yourself first. Second of all, next time let's bring some weights in, or if you can find some bands. If your plan is to continue with this habit, to build these healthy habits for yourself, go ahead and consider picking up either some bands or some weights, because that's the best way to build the strength stats, right? Of course, you're not going to get, huge hypertrophy, muscle growth without adding weights. So if that's your goal, to not only be strong, but to look strong as well, hypertrophy can only be gotten with overloading on your weight. So, yeah, let's go through again the same circuit we just did. So we did the shoulder tap push-ups. This time I'm going to do the modified version. And also, if you wanted to, you could do a negative push-up. So essentially, you would start in that plank position. You would just come down, okay? And then you could come down to your knees to push you back up, and then do the tap, okay? So you could do that if you wanted to. And if you can't do a push-up yet, like a proper push-up, then that's how you can kind of work your way, is doing those negative push-ups. You can hold at the bottom a little bit, and you can drop to your knees instead of coming all the way up. So that's just something to think about as you're working your strength up. So let's go ahead and do this one in a modified pose. So on our knees, if you want. If you want to do the hard version, please do that. I encourage the hard version. So I'm going to come down here, and then I'm going to actually do 2 taps for the modified version. So that's 2, that's 3, that's 4. I think it's almost harder to do in the modified version. 5, 6, 7, 8. You can do it. There's just 2 more. 9 and 10. You're gonna rest for a few seconds. Don't rest too long. All right, we're back to weighted squats. I'm gonna grab a little bit heavier of a weight this time. Or before, I think this is about 30, which isn't that much heavier, but we're gonna do it from this angle. So I'm doing my legs a little wider than shoulder width apart. I'm gonna hold my weight like this. That's 2, 3, we're doing 15, 4, 5, and if you have weights, if you're doing a squat, you need to do a weight that you can't do more than 12 of if you're going for muscle growth. Uh-oh, how many was that? Maybe that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right. If you want to rest for a few seconds, get a drink of water, go for it. So, if you've rested 30 seconds, 1 minute, whatever you need to do, I don't recommend longer than a minute. Of course, if you're a beginner, if you're just starting out, if you need to really catch your breath, rest as long as you need to, but not so long that your muscles have cooled down. And yeah, let's get right back into it. So the next one of man-to-mans. So again, this is where we're squeezing our back muscles. We're squeezing our glutes enough to lift our thighs a little off the ground, and sort of pressing those abs in while also squeezing the lower back muscles. We're coming up like this. We're going to pause at the top. We're going to go down. We're going to come up. We're going to do this 10 times. I think this is 3 for me. It's 4. We're going to hold at the top for a second. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold up at the top of 10. Whew. All right, you're like halfway through the whole workout. So the next one, we're going to attempt these pike push-ups again. I'm going to pull this rug up a little bit because it's not sticky enough to do these. Again, with the downward dog, we're going to get our body in this V shape. And I think it really is just maybe like that. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And yeah, we did more than 10 this time, and that's okay. Muscle growth, time under tension. Strength, time under tension. The more sets you do, the more strength you're going to gain, right? The more you push yourself, the heavier weight you do, the bigger your muscles will get too. Because your muscles, basically once you kind of like overwork them, they tear, they have to rebuild themselves, and every time they rebuild themselves, they get a little bit bigger. And it does take time, a long time. It's not anything you can achieve overnight. It just takes a lot of hard work and dedication. Now there are supplements, there are things you can take. A lot of that stuff is not available in the Wasteland, but you can start with creatine if that's somewhere you want to start. Okay, we are going for mountain climbers again, but I think this time I lost a lot of traction. I think this time I'm just gonna take my Nuka-Cola mat off and do it on this. So if you can see where my dog scratched this. So let's just let's do 30 seconds. All right, let's go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Let's do those mountain climbers. It's only 30 seconds. You got this. It is hard. It's hard for me. It's got to be hard. I mean, it doesn't have to be hard, but it is hard for me. I don't do a lot of mountain climbers. Helps with agility though, and endurance. Certainly my stats are pretty low in endurance. Sort of strength. Strength is definitely my maxed out stat. Again, go ahead and rest for a few seconds. Get yourself a drink. And we'll do that whole series one more time. Maybe we'll even throw in a little bit of abs. Even though sort of the mountain climbers do help with core strength, I think we're cheating there. Yeah, I think for the next one, we'll work in some more abs. And I think by the 8th or so episode, we will start doing some splits. And I would love to hear some feedback from anybody out there watching about what you're wanting next. Let's get back into it. Push-ups with taps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Another round of weighted squats. I think for this one, I'm gonna use my mace bell. It's only 15 pounds, and then I have this 10-pound sledgehammer. Let's do both of them. So it's about 25 pounds. Woo. Yeah. So squat, 1, 2, 3, 4, oops, 5, don't forget to hold the abs in, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right. Oops. By the way, this is an airsoft gun. Well, I guess it doesn't matter because this channel doesn't care if there's real guns. All right, rest for a few seconds, 30 seconds. You can pause here, and we're gonna go back to man-to-mans. All right. Hopefully you had a nice pause. Get right into it. On your stomach. Little circle up. 1, 2. Maybe you can get a little higher with the legs. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more, let's make it count. 10. These will really help when you're swimming through caves. Honestly, a strong lower back, your back is part of your core. And it'll help you in all areas with strength, agility, endurance. I can't help you with your intelligence, but those 3 things we can kind of help with. So back to the pike push-up. Get into that downward facing dog. You want your fingers spread wide, and you're really making that V shape. You want to try to make your back feet go all the way down. If you can't, you can do a little pedaling back and forth. It'll help stretch out your hamstrings a little. You can kind of push your hips towards the ceiling and get that nice foundation there, right? And then we'll just go right into the pike push-ups. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Woo. All right, I think the last one is mountain climbers, which is my least favorite one. This off again. All right, 30 seconds to mountain climbers. Ready, set, go. About 15 seconds left. You're almost there. You should feel a little burn in your triceps, maybe. 10 seconds. You made it. You did it. I'm talking to myself. Do the thing. Do the thing you've always wanted to do. Do it scared. Do it unsure, because everybody had to start as a beginner. Okay? So whatever goal or dream you have, just start doing it. Just start doing those things to work towards it. The day that you delay the thing you want to do is another day you can regret. I feel like if I had started this broadcast 5 years ago when I thought about it, I would be 5 years ahead of where I am now. But, so I'm trying to take my own advice and do the things. So we're coming to the cool down portion, and we're gonna start with some cat-cows. Remember we talked about these? Breathe in as we push down. Remember to pretend that there is a string connecting your belly to the ground, and also this part of your back, pretend it's pulling up towards the ceiling, right? So we've got this push and this pull in the cat-cow, okay? Okay, and we can breathe through this movement. So, and then as you start to breathe through the movements, you can start to do like hip circles. You can start to move around however you feel like your body needs it. You can get those stretches in to the lats by kind of doing an offset stretch here. You can feel the stretch through this part, this muscle, which is your lats. You can also stretch your hips this way. So yeah, so you can play with that movement a little bit. We can do a child's pose. We've talked about this one. If you need to make your knees wider, you can do that. It is a resting pose. I like to really press myself into a child's pose so I can get the hip opener. You can also go from a child's pose to a frog pose. Okay, I don't know how to explain this one very well, but essentially it is definitely a hip opener movement. Oh, and I always tighten my hips, so it's a good one for that. Another one you can do, we can even go from the cat-cow or pose. We can push our feet up and our hips to the, kind of like we talked about before, doing this downward dog. And what I like to do to get into this, I like to lift the leg up, bring my knee forward towards my elbow, and then just place my knee in a comfortable position so that I'm getting a nice stretch here, okay? And then you may only be able to stay here. You may be able to come down to your knees. You may be able to come all the way down. But I like to just kind of do a back and forth here, again, because I get really tight hips. Oof. And you can stay here for a few breaths. And then you can push yourself back up. What I like to do is, you can see I'm pushing my toe up, so I can kind of give my body a little bit of a push up and bring my foot back. I'll come back into downward dog, and I'm going to do the other leg up. Okay, and again, I'm going to bring my leg down and in front of me. This is called a pigeon pose. Ooh. Again, I'm going to do a little rocking back and forth, and so I can really just push myself into the discomfort. Ooh. And just let my body sink into that. And take a few breaths here. And we can come back up. And one of the things I like to always finish with is a lying twist. You can give yourself a nice hug here when you lie on your back. You can kind of go back and forth, give your lower back a little massage. Okay, you can even do a happy baby, which is where you grab your feet. You can grab on the inside, grab them on the outside. You're supposed to push your knees kind of like down towards the earth. You'll see babies kind of do this, well, when they're babies. It is called happy baby. So I like to do that. And then the the other move I like to do is, let me see which is the best way you can see this. So knees to one side. Okay, knees stacked, the hips are stacked on top of each other. The knees are kind of stacked, and they're not directly on top of each other, but you can see. Then you're going to take one arm out, the opposite arm, so your knees are facing one way. So right now my knees are facing to the right, and then I have my left arm out, okay? I've got my palm down, and I'm going to gently turn my gaze the other way. You're giving this area of your body, your midsection, a nice twist. Give yourself a few deep breaths here. You can go in through the nose and out through the mouth. So let's do it together. All right, let's go ahead and switch to the other side. Again, while you're switching, you can do a little hug. Tell yourself I love you. Give yourself a little bit of a massage on that lower back, and then gently, very gently, bring those knees to the opposite side. Bring the opposite hand with the palm facing down, and turn your gaze this way. Okay. Everything we do to one side, we need to do to the other. So go ahead and take a few deep breaths here. And while you're taking those breaths, I want you to focus on that sensation, on what you're feeling, like where your body is touching the ground. Feeling that breath. You can feel the coolness of the breath, maybe all the way down to your stomach, but you can certainly feel it in the back of your throat as you inhale. Just those sensations that your body's experiencing right now. And then as you're coming out of this, go ahead and give yourself another loving squeeze. And remember, to be grateful for your body, what it can do. Maybe you weren't able to do everything. Maybe you're a way better athlete than I am. Just be grateful for all the things that your body can do and that brought you here today. I'm really proud of you for existing in this post-apocalyptic wasteland and showing up every day for yourself, even though maybe things seem uncertain. So stay safe out there.
Try not to die out there, sir.